is Gabby Franco, and I am the first female shooter to represent Venezuela in the Olympics. I watched Venezuela collapse under socialism, and I am here to offer a different perspective on why that economic system is a catastrophic failure and why it will destroy the United States if implemented. The rise of socialism begins with the social class hatred politicians seeds on people's heart, and obviously the banning of private gun ownership. The common phrase of "you don't know what you have until you lose it" was a bit different for me. I didn't know what I didn't have until I found it. The Second Amendment that gives me the right to protect myself from attackers, including my own government. In the early 2000s, I was competing and shooting every day. However, while Venezuela was a wealthy country with the largest oil reserve in the world, the government began to make it harder for people to acquire ammunition. My shooting team could not even get .22 caliber or pellets to practice. Before Hugo Chavez took power, pellets and .22 ammunition was widely available. Gun store existed. People could apply for a concealed carry license, and the shooting sport was prosperous. However, I felt the impact of gun regulations after the socialist government took power. Then we stopped getting high-quality ammunition and pellets, so we trained with whatever was available. I knew then this was not going to improve. My coach started warning me, and everyone at the gun range. He would tell me, "Hugo Chavez speaks just like Fidel Castro." But people in Venezuela didn't realize how serious it is when the government begins to strip away your power and your rights. He constantly said that Venezuela was going to end up like Cuba. Bernie Sanders even said on his Senate website that the American dream is more apt to be realized in South America, in places such as Ecuador, Venezuela, and Argentina, where incomes are actually more equal. But equal? Equal to whom? Perhaps, Bernie, as the rest of the socialists, like when everybody's at the same lower social class bracket, a bracket that is easy to manipulate and deceive. I took my coach's warning very seriously, and I started looking to leave the country. I thought to myself, what's the point of having an Olympic medal if my entire life is ruined? In 2002, I moved to the US, hoping for a life where I could be the writer of my destiny, instead of being the beggar of the government. No, because that is not me, that is not what I believe life is all about. So I left everything behind to come to the United States. Finally, in 2002, my visa was approved and I received my green card. At first, everyone who knew me in Venezuela thought I was crazy. They kept telling me that whatever happened to Cuba will never happen in Venezuela, that we were not an island and we had the largest oil reserve in the world. And I don't understand them. I mean, it is hard to believe what you have never seen. But sure enough, I watched Venezuela destroy itself. Socialism created a barrier between failure and success. A country that was prosperous, with large industries, with thousands of small businesses and mom-and-pop stores, succumbed to the ideology of government dependency. People stopped thinking, what can I do to better my situation? And they began asking, what is the government going to do for me? I went back to Venezuela 3 years later in 2005, and I was shocked that buildings were run down and the streets were hardly operational. The country was in rapid decline. Wow! I can't believe that I am in the same position my coach was 20 years ago in Venezuela, except that I am warning people in the US that socialism could come to this country and destroy it. A few years ago, I hit rock bottom. I was alone, full of debt, I didn't have a job, But I was able to bounce back because you can succeed if you have the will to do so. That's the beauty of capitalism. You can work here and get yourself through life, but you have to be willing to work hard and have the drive to do it. I hate socialism because I don't want the government to dictate what I need or what I want. I want to be the sole writer of my dreams and what I want to do and what I want to accomplish. So I beg you, never let socialism destroy this country.